Hi everyone. My name's Jody and I am the creator of Beautifully Quaint. So I decided that I'm going to start a YouTube channel to kind of summarize some of my blog posts that I feel are important or I want to talk about and share with you, and that way that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. I know myself, I listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts when I'm showering, when I'm driving, when I'm cooking. So, I'm not going to start a podcast because I don't know the first thing about that, nor do I feel I have enough to say. But I thought maybe a YouTube channel might be the way to go. I don't know. We'll find out. I hate being on video, but here I am. I'm forcing myself to do this. We'll see how long I do it. I may give up very soon. So anyways, the first thing that I wanted to put out there that I feel is important has to do with, don't laugh, ticks. I live in Pennsylvania. Tick season is here. We did not have a cold winter. We had a very warm winter, and I have this fear of ticks. I have a fear of ticks because my children, from the time they were born, they draw ticks to them. I don't know why they attract ticks to them. I had never in my life had a tick, and I grew up on a farm. I was outside all the time, every day. Never had ticks. My children are born, and no joke, within their first week of life, they have ticks. They don't even go outside. They have ticks. I don't get it. Anyways, so for several years, we have had to deal with ticks. I even got chickens to get rid of the ticks in our yard to try to protect my children. The dog brings them in. They go outside, and like I said, there must be something. Children must be so sweet that ticks just love to attach to them. I don't know. But over the years, my children have had many ticks. The doctors even at one point kind of yelled at me and said, "Stop taking your children outside." And I said, "I'm not. I've treated my dog, I've done everything, okay? It's not that I'm neglecting the situation. It just is what it is." So, anyways, what I wanted to put out there was, in dealing with all of these ticks, both of my sons have had tick bites. I watched for the rash. I watched for that little circle, the bullseye that they talk about. Never happened. But months later, my son, and it started first with my oldest son, he started complaining of his having leg cramps. He would come down at night crying with leg cramps. And so, again, they're growing. It's a normal thing. So I would give him Tylenol and send him back to bed. And, it just kept going till one day he even said he couldn't walk up the porch steps. And I thought he was milking it, to be honest. There were things that I was saying, "Hey, buddy, you need to do this," like soccer, and he didn't want to. And so I really thought he was trying to use that to get out of, the things that he didn't want to do. And then one day he went outside to play, and he came back in, and his knee, no joke, was twice the size of his normal knee. And I saw that, and I said, "Oh my goodness, buddy, what's going on?" He goes, "I don't know." I said, "Did you fall? Did you twist it? Did you, what did you do?" And he said, "Nothing. I was just running around. I did nothing." So of course at this point, I called the doctor. And they said, "Well, we don't know. Come in. We'll take a look at it." My doctor, I love her. She looked at it and said, "It looks like, what did she call it? It's like arthritis, and you get it from Lyme's disease. And usually people who have had Lyme's disease, months later, this shows up as a reaction of having Lyme's." And so, we went through the blood testing, and lo and behold, he had Lyme's. And so he went through the course of antibiotics, and hopefully it cleared it up. We have not had a problem since. But, it was just something that I had never thought about. My God, a swollen knee? equals Lyme's disease. Seriously? Um, like, never crossed my mind. I didn't know this. I'm looking for the bullseye. So honestly, like a couple months later, my middle son, same thing, starts complaining. I shouldn't say same thing. It was not the same. His knee did not swell, but he continued to complain about leg cramps and his hips. His hips were aching. His hips were hurting. And it was just, I'll be honest, with his case, I feared the worst. I feared bone cancer. I mean, I was looking it up, of course, the things that you shouldn't do. And I called the doctor for him and said, you know, this is what's going on. Can we check it out? She had the same fears as me. You know, we were honestly in the doctor's room. We're like whispering back and forth because she's ordering all these blood tests. And I'm like, well, this test for cancer. And she goes, yeah. You know, she's like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to scare anybody. And I said, no, you know, this is the stuff that I want to know. Again, love my doctor. So it again came up that my middle son had Lyme's, and that his aching bones, same thing. It was an effect from Lyme's disease. And I did not see a tick on him. In fact, he kept refusing to believe, because he was the one that always found the ticks. You know, if it came into the dog and dropped on the floor, or if it was crawling around, he found them, and we killed them. And the fact that he got bit by a tick and he did not find it, he was livid. He was in denial. He was like, I do not have Lyme's. But he did. He took the medicine, and he's fine now. But I just wanted to warn other parents that if your kids are complaining about leg cramps, have swollen knees, their hips are hurting, just strange things, you know, get it checked out. Because especially if you live in an area where you're outdoors a lot, it could be Lyme's. Crazy enough. Like, I couldn't believe it. But it could be Lyme's.